Today on Live in Manna, I'm going to talk to you today out of John 4, specifically the woman at the well. Now, go with me back to a little city called Samaria. Now, Samaria was a small, quaint town. Now, small, quaint towns are nice because everybody knows each other. But small, quaint towns are also not so nice because everybody knows each other. Now, this woman at the well, this Samaritan woman, she went in the middle of the day to try to avoid the shadow of her past because everybody knew her past and everybody talked to everybody. So she went in the middle of the day to be alone as she gathered water. But on this particular day, she was not alone. She was met by a man. And this man was a Jewish man, and he asked for water. Now, the Samaritans and the Jewish people did not interact with each other. So she said, "Why would you, being a Jew, ask me for water?" Now this man was Jesus. And Jesus looked at her and said, "Well, if you knew Touche, who it was that asked you, I would have given you living water." She thought for a moment, and she thought, well, it would be nice. It would be nice not having to come back and forth and to drag all these jugs and what a hassle it is. But then she said, well, are you better than the ancestors who made this well and whose children also drank from this well? And then he proceeded, and she's like, I'm interested. I want this living water. And he goes, well, why don't you go and get your husband? And of course, she was hesitant. She didn't know what to say for a moment. And then she spoke a half-truth. She said, well, I don't have a husband. And he goes, well, you've spoken well. You don't have a husband. And in fact, you've had 5 husbands. And she was taken back. And then he goes, she tried to change the subject, and she asked some theological questions. And she goes, well, she's like, the Jewish people say that you worship on this mountain. We worship here. And he's like, well, there'll be a time and place in which it won't matter where you worship. And that hour has come. And she goes, well, she's like, there is a Messiah that's going to come. And he goes, I am he. I would like to tell you that the power in this chapter is not so much that he knew her background, that he knew her story, but that the fact that he knew her story and still loved her and still wanted her to be a part of his story and still wanted her to live out and to share the Great Commission. And she was so excited by this that she ran out and shared with the people that she was trying to avoid. Every person that she came across, she shouted with glee, come, meet this person who told me everything I did. So, I urge you today to be like this woman at the well, to realize that no matter what your story is, no matter where you come from, that God loves you and he wants you. Imagine that. The God of salvation wants you. The God of this universe, the God who created everything, wants you to be a part of his story, wants you to share the Great Commission. So go.